Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niyeh b'dvaro. There are several ways to distinguish, to classify the mitzvot. What is a mitzvah? A mitzvah is an obligation that comes from the Torah, an instruction that God gives to the Jewish people and maybe to all of humanity at the same time. There are different ways of classifying these ordinances. One of them is, for instance, something that has to be done at a certain time. For instance, during the holiday of Passover, we have to eat matzah, which is the unleavened bread. To remember the Exodus from Egypt, we do the same thing that our ancestors did. They didn't have enough time for the dough to rise, so we eat matzah, which is unleavened bread. But if you eat it today, you're not fulfilling any mitzvah. There's another way, for instance, of classifying the mitzvot, which are some that make sense. Make sense on a human level. That is, I could have maybe come to the same conclusion. Don't kill. Don't assassinate. We understand that. Life is very important. If you want to live in society, if you want somebody else not to do the same thing to you, you can't do that. Don't lie. We understand that. But then there are certain mitzvot that have no explanation really. An example is, don't wear something that is made out of linen and wool together. You're not supposed to wear a material that is made of both of these things. Why not? Who knows? This is what the Torah says. As a matter of fact, maybe the biggest enigma is, why did God create the world, the universe? Why did He do it? While we don't know why certain things are, on the other hand, we can appreciate the consequence of it. In other words, if God created the universe, created man, He created you, okay, do the best that you can while you are here. Try to improve yourself. Try to make yourself into a better human being. Try to make a better society for everybody to live in harmony. Be careful about what you do with the earth. Maybe one of the classical examples of a law that has no human reason really is the one that has to do with a red heifer. This is a red cow that is sacrificed, and its ashes afterwards are combined with water, and that is used to sprinkle a person that has come into contact with a cadaver, with a human cadaver, and he has become impure thereby. So he has to go to a mikveh. He has to make immersion in a body of water, but he also needs haza'ah. Somebody has to sprinkle water on himself. Why is that so? Well, we really don't know, but we're also facing human death when you come into contact with a corpse. Why are we humans sentenced to death? We are born and eventually we die. Why don't we live forever? Well, this is the way God created the world, that all living organisms go through some transformation. There's birth, there is adulthood, there is death. And maybe the human beings are the only beings that are conscious, really. They are aware of their own death. I don't know if animals are aware that they're going to die. So why is that so? Who knows, But on the other hand, we see that with this sprinkling of the water, it's telling us something important, There are many things that I can accomplish in this world, but maybe there are things that I cannot do by myself, and I really need the help of somebody else. So to get out of this state of impurity because I touched the corpse of a human being, I need somebody else to sprinkle water upon me. I can go into the mikveh by myself. I don't need any help from anybody else. I can go into the ocean and make an immersion. But when it comes to the sprinkling, I need somebody else. Maybe it is also telling us something additional. Namely, you're going to die. But that's not the end of history. There are other people also. The one that is sprinkling the water symbolizes that there are other human beings that will continue in this world. In the Talmud it says, Lo alecha hamelacha ligmor. You don't have the obligation to finish everything. But on the other hand, you can't abstain from doing things, even though you know you're not going to finish. So even though we are mortal, maybe there is some kind of consolation in knowing there are other human beings in this world that will continue. But while we don't understand why God created us to live and to die, the consequence of it means you have to live your life in a very significant way. You know, eventually you're going to die. So our rabbis say one should live every day as if it were the last one of your life. What would you want to do if you know that today is the last day of your life? Maybe it is too morose thought to think every day about it, but from time to time, it wouldn't do any harm to take an accounting of your life. Have you accomplished the things that you want to do? Are there any things that you'd like to finish before you leave this world? I think that you'll become a much better human being, and you'll give greater meaning to your life. On the one hand, by doing what you should, and on the other hand, being conscious of the fact that somebody can sprinkle water on you, the other human beings, and they will continue the work in this world.